Hello, YouTube divers. This is Water Dive 122, and I want to welcome you all to another episode of Magic Metal Mondays. So, today we're going to be doing another album review here today. We are going to be talking about the 17th full length studio album from one of my favorite bands of all time, and one of my favorite power metal bands of all time for that matter. German power metal legends and pioneers and icons, Helloween. So, we're going to be talking about their brand new album, Giants and Monsters, which came out this past Friday. Um, had a chance to listen to the album a few times, and oh boy, we got a lot. There's a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, we need to provide a little bit of a context for maybe first time viewers. So, I've been a huge fan of Helloween for about 5 years at this point. I first came to know them with their iconic Keeper of the Seven Keys duology albums in the late 80s, which are obviously their best albums. And had, both of them are among some of my all time favorite records of all time, regardless of genre of music. Those two albums were very influential in me getting into power metal. Like without those two albums, I probably would not be into bands like Hammerfall, Sonata Arctica, Camelot, Nightwish, Running Wild, you name it. Um, I certainly wouldn't be the big power metal fan that I am now if it weren't for those two albums, and really for this band for that matter. I mean, even outside of the Keeper of the Seven Keys duology, Helloween have made a lot of great albums and a lot of underrated albums over the years. I do like those other two Michael Kiske albums with Pink Bubbles Go Ape and Chameleon. I know a lot of fans don't like them, but I do. Um, the Andy Darris albums as well. Albums like Master of the Rings, The Time of the Oath, Better Than Raw, The Dark Ride, Keeper of the Seven Keys, The Legacy, and even bits and pieces on albums like Rabbit Don't Come Easy or Gambling with the Devil, Seven Sinners, Straight Out of Hell, and My God Given Right. I mean, and of course the iconic debut album Walls of Jericho with Kai Hansen on the vocals. Literally, Helloween just have a really consistent discography, in my opinion at least. I know that's going to be a hot take for a lot of people, but I don't think Helloween have made a bad album. Um, and I was a really big fan of their self titled album from 2021. That was back during a time where I absolutely worshipped Helloween. Like I would not stop listening to them. Um, and That album in particular was very special to me because it was the first album that they made during. While I was a full time fan of the band, and now that I know Halloween to the back of my hands, I was you're darn certain that I was very much hyped for this new album, Giants and Monsters. And if y'all remember, a few months ago, I made a song review for the lead single, This is Tokyo. Don't worry, you'll hear it again. Um, yeah, I mentioned that I really liked the song and I was very much looking forward to the album. And now, fast forward to today, and we have arrived. So let's talk about the album. So this album features a lot of different songwriters within the band. Andy Darris, Kai Hansen, Michael Wycath, and Sasha Gershner are all credited with songwriting on this album. We see Kai Hansen once again um, improve on his songwriting credits. He only had one on the previous album, which was Skyfall, which was a freaking amazing song. But here, um, he's he's credited with writing three of the songs on this album, and well, let's get into it. So the opening track is one of the Kai Hansen written tracks, "Giants on the Run." It's also co-written by Andy Darris. This is a 6.5 minute long power metal rager. It's got a lot of banging riffs, a lot of banging choruses, And I especially love those vocal blendings with Andy Darris, Kai Hansen, and Michael Kiske on the vocals. It's very, very well done. Then you have one of the best tracks on the album, "Savior of the World," written by Michael Wycath, and this is a very Wycath-esque song. Michael Wycath has kind of built a reputation over the years as being like the true power metal songwriter for the band. He's written a lot of these big power metal anthems, most famously with "Eagle Fly Free" on "Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2," for example. Um, and "Savior of the World" is absolutely no exception. I love this song, and I really love Michael Kiske's vocals on here. This is one of the few tracks that has Kiske on vocals exclusively, and he just proves time and time again why he's my favorite power metal vocalist. Like, as much as I love Tony Kakko and as much as I love Roy Khan and all those guys, none of them hold a candle to Michael Kiske. He is just insane. Um, and even at 57 years old, Michael Kiske is still killing it on the vocals. Here on "Savior of the World," this has his best vocal performance as an individual vocalist on this album, in my opinion. Wowzers! But then we get the best track on the album, in my opinion, and that is "A Little Is a Little Too Much," written by Andy Darris. And yeah, this is a very fun and a very rocking song. This very much feels like a classic 1980s like glam metal song. Something in the vein of like Pyromania era Def Leppard might have written back in the day. Um, Very catchy melodies, very catchy hooks, and wonderful vocal performances from both Andy Darris and Michael Kiske, and the bits and pieces of Kai Hansen sprinkled throughout the cut. Yeah, "A Little Is a Little Too Much." I can't get enough of this song. I absolutely love it. Definitely one of my favorite tracks from the band post "Keeper of the Seven Keys to Legacy," in my opinion. Then we have "We Can Be Gods," which is written by Kai Hansen. And once again, this is a very power metal esque song. It's just paint by numbers, down to earth power metal. It really brings back memories of a lot of the songs that he wrote on Helloween's first three albums. This very much feels like a song that could have been on Walls of Jericho, for example, in terms of like, overall vibes and structure and all that stuff. But yeah, "We Can Be Gods." Freaking bad to the bone song. I love it. Then we have probably the only ballady esque song on the album, and that is "Into the Sun," written by Andy Darris. And this very much feels like a callback to "If I Could Fly," their iconic ballad from The Dark Ride. Um, it's in the same. It's in the same key. It's got a lot of the same chords. It's got a lot of very similar melodies from "If I Could Fly." It just very much feels like "If I Could Fly Part 2," if I'm being totally real. But I love that song. So, I'm not complaining. So, and "Into the Sun" in general is just a wonderful song in general. Great, another very strong vocal performance from Michael Kiske as well. Then we have "This Is Tokyo." This is another song written by Andy Darris, who I believe wrote most of the tracks on this album. And this was the song that I made the song review of when it first came out a few months ago as a lead single. And I know there were a few Helloween fans that didn't really care about this song, but I liked it a lot, and I still do. I think it's a little bit out of place on this album because considering that it's very bouncy and very energetic and very happy, so to speak. But I feel like "This Is Tokyo" brings another different kind of color to the album as opposed to what else we've gotten here so far. And honestly, I love it when Helloween write writes these more cheesy, out of style songs. I mean, it's why I love albums like Pink Bubbles Go Ape and Chameleon, for example. Sorry. Um, but yeah, this is Tokyo. I liked it back when it came out, and I still like it now. If you want to know my further thoughts on it, go check out that song review. Then we have one of two epics on this album. We have Universe, Gravity of Hearts, one of two tracks written by Sasha Gershner. This is the longest track on the album, clocking in at 8 minutes and 25 seconds. And this was the second single to also be released from this album. And wow, this very much feels like a sequel to Skyfall, the 12-minute epic from their previous album. In many ways, both of these songs share the same melodies, or at least similar melodies and similar riffs and choruses. Um, yeah, I mean, and Michael Kiske in particular, once again, just knocks it out of the park on this song, vocally speaking. He once again, he's just proving time and time again why his voice just continues to age like fine wine. I absolutely love his performance on here, and of course, Andy and Kai both give great performances on here as well. But yeah, Michael Kiske's Michael Kiske. Enough said. Now we move on to the weakest track on the album. This is the second song written by Sasha Gershner, Hand of God. I don't hate this song, but it definitely, in my opinion, is the weakest track on the album. And it's not because it's anything bad. I mean, Sasha Gershner is, in my opinion, the most underrated songwriter for Helloween. I mean, his songs. He always has at least one or two songs on each album since his debut in with Rap Don't Come Easy, where he's just been writing killer songs after killer songs after killer songs. But Hand of God is, in my opinion, one of his weakest songs that he's written for Helloween. It's not bad, but I don't really know. It's very heavy, and it just feels like a song that could have easily been on maybe as like a bonus track for the Dark Ride, or maybe added on to Rapid Don't Come Easy or something like that. But yeah, Hand of God, I like it. There's just better songs on the album. And then we get another pretty okay song with Under the Moonlight, the second song written by Michael Wycath. And yeah, you can honestly copy and paste everything I said about Hand of God and apply it here. But I like Under the Moonlight just a smidge bit more. I think those heavier. I think those. I think that heavier chorus was definitely a nice little change of scenery. This is the darkest and heaviest track on the album, and I think it definitely serves its purpose. But I think there's just better songs on the album. So yeah. And then we get the closing epic, the 8 minute long Majestic, written by Kai Hansen. And this was a thing, and this was something that Kai Hansen has always been um, able to do very, very well during his time with Helloween. I mean, just look at Halloween or Keeper of the Seven Keys or the freaking or Skyfall from the previous album. Like Kai Hansen's just a master of writing these long power metal epics, and Majestic is definitely no exception. It is, well, majestic. What more do you want me to say? It's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. But overall, Giants and Monsters was just a freaking amazing album from start to finish. Every song feels confident, every song feels cohesive, every song just feels epic. All of it's basically the self-titled album but bumped up to another level, if you ask me. I think this is an improvement of from the self-titled album, and that's saying a lot because I love that album and I still do. But um, Giants and Monsters, man, just absolutely blew me away. It's very clear to me that Helloween are very comfortable I mean, are way more comfortable with this Pumpkins United lineup now than they were like 5 or 10 years ago. Everyone knows each other's strengths, both from a songwriting and performance level. Everyone knows what to do, and everyone knows how they can contribute in the best way possible. And you put all that together, and you got an amazing album. Giants and Monsters, I was very hyped for this album, and it definitely lived up to it. 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely love this album. If you're a Helloween fan and you have not listened to this album, you need to get on it right away because I think this album will definitely take you on a very nice ride. Happy Halloween, everyone. Long live those power metal pumpkins. All right, so with that said, that concludes this edition of Magic Metal Mondays. Thank you so much for watching, my fellow YouTube divers. This is WaterDive122 signing out, ready to dive into more fun on YouTube. Thanks for watching.